Hello and welcome to episode 25 of our Timberborn Update 7 Folktails Hard Mode playthrough here in Cycle 35, Day 5. We have a fun and fantastic new update to the update in experimental mode here. That's right, the beavers finally can make tunnels. I said it was probably never going to be possible, not even, a couple days ago, and then they decided, alright, it's time to have the beavers make tunnels. But yeah, I'll put a little bit of the patch notes up on the screen here so we can take a look. But the big highlights for me are tunnels, obviously, and then this little bit of terrain rework, I guess kind of in tandem with that, where they've removed the natural overhangs and replaced them with just normal pieces of terrain. And then, of course, we also have the changes to the underground storage for the Folktails is now only 1,000 capacity instead of 1,800. And then the mine recipe has been updated so that now it requires treated planks, and then the efficient mine recipe also requires dynamite. Once again. So I guess those good times were never going to last forever in terms of getting a little bit more for your money with those different things. But I'm really excited about tunnels. Like, I cannot express to you how awesome that's going to be to build stuff. And we're going to mess with it today, let me tell you. But I can't help but feel a little bit sad about the loss of the natural overhangs. Like, this just, well, first of all, this looks completely wrong because I've been playing this game for 3.5 years where this was completely impossible. But I did like the, kind of elegant look of the natural overhangs with the sweeping curve thing they had going on. But, I do think it is better overall to be able to have access to the tunnels and everything. And yet, just this stuff just doesn't quite look the same. And I know there's a lot of different parts in the map where that is going to be something that we can take a look at here. Like, see, like, right here, this whole thing, hey, bad tide time. Well, now it just, it just kind of looks like a normal, bit of ground. But, oh, hey, there's a hole here. Oh, and I know the live stream series with the Iron Teeth is going to be absolute chaos next time we boot that thing up, because there's so many buried things underneath all of those natural overhangs that you would never be able to see unless you peeled all the layers back. But I digress. We have our bad tide coming in 3 days, like I said. And things are looking really good for us with the exception of wood. Yeah, how many times you heard that one? But we did... okay. We did plant a whole bunch of oak trees. And now that we actually have maple syrup more or less about ready to be harvested, I'm not going to feel bad about cutting these maple trees down, especially because, there's only a few of them that even have the syrup left in the first place. So, I'm going to go ahead and just mark these closest for cutting, and then they'll be able to take those out pretty easily. I do have this one lumberjack flag right now, and they're going to make pretty quick work of all that stuff. Pretty cool. Now, I don't remember these terrain blocks having this little frame around them. I think that's new. Or hope it's new, because if that's always been like that, and I haven't noticed, then I have some very, very severe concerns about my ability to retain information. But I digress again. We'll get that taken care of. I'm very interested to see when we go here. See, this is empty because it always was, because we didn't have anything in there. But this does say 1,000. We have others though over here. No metal blocks. So where are the rest of my metal blocks? Huh. I know we have. Aha. Okay, that's what I was gonna ask. Was when the capacity was reduced to 1,000, what happened to the extra? So it's just super overcrowded, is what this worked out to. Okay, so it didn't delete my resources. That's very, very good to know. But since we're already here, we can take a brief moment to address some other stuff you guys brought up in the comments, which I'm going to be totally honest with you, we're probably not going to get to a lot of it because I want to play with tunnels. So... I did see a couple things that I did think we could go ahead and address, like the zipline station over here needed to be added sooner rather than later, so I think what's going to make the most sense is for us to find a way to incorporate it, since this is now no longer connected to anything because we hadn't quite figured out what we were doing yet. This is unfortunately obstructed, and I said I'm going to deal with it later, so we're just going to completely ignore it, because that's how it goes. I would like to be able to connect to this other zipline thing up top here. Or, oh, that's a new sound. It did say that they were adding some new sounds. I just obviously haven't clicked on a whole bunch of stuff yet. But I'm very curious about what I'm going to be able to connect to. I think if this is actually in range, which it might not be. Okay. And it has obstructions with the... okay, well, don't build that. It has obstructions with stuff anyhow, so that's fine. Let's go ahead and get that out of there. But I do want to have one connected to the other side here. I just haven't decided if I want that to be connected to this guy, or if I want it to be connected to this guy. Because this does connect kind of to this storage right here, but I don't think we actually have any... Yeah, this is all like food. Oh, no, there's books and punch cards. And gears, so you know what? Maybe it's not such a bad thing to connect this guy to this side of our fun over here. So I think what might actually make more sense is connect it right over here-ish, but I'm not going to build it in this exact spot because I think it's going to make more sense to put here. So I'll go ahead and get that put in, and then I will go ahead and put that on top. And yeah. Okay, I guess it does make sense that this has to have a frame around it, but now the problem we have to solve is getting it connected here, because it is too far, and it seems that some trees are in the way. So, what I think we're going to have to do is come over here to the corner, and let's just try to put in this here. Now, I'm pretty sure... Yeah, there you go. It's totally... I do like that sound. That's totally level. Shouldn't have any issues. Look how nice those trees look in rows like that. That connected there should actually really help things. I think that's going to be a good addition. We'll let them take care of that, assuming they can actually build that, which they should be able to. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Good stuff. Another thing we could address since we're already here is, saw a couple comments talking about the different reservoir things, but one of them that stood out to me was, why don't we have our reservoirs just completely surround the waffle so we can have the edge tiles irrigated? And I do think that's a nice thing for us to work toward. Maybe not necessarily the entire thing, because that would be a little complicated, but I could definitely see expanding this around this way and just kind of joining these, maybe with some sort of other height regulation thing put in place so we don't have stuff overlap that isn't able to overlap. But we could definitely think about it. However, you know why we're here. You know why we're here. It's tunnel time. So, I'm going to go ahead immediately unlock this. And how this works is really, really cool. They've done some other stuff too, which we can talk about in the process of doing so. But I'm unfortunately going to have to admit that I don't have a lot of places that a tunnel would make tremendous amounts of sense in. Because what it does... When you go build a tunnel, if you remember from the patch notes thing I popped up, they had a little animation of it. It basically just sideways excavates and puts a platform in place to hold up the dirt. So just to illustrate how that would look, I can come over here, and if I go down this way, you see it's like on the ground, and you can drag it out, and it has the little designation of the size in both directions in the middle of the screen, which I think is tremendously good. But you come up to the side here, and now you not only can go, if we rotate the camera, come on, autosave, you can go 2 by 1, and you can do, if I can get the camera exactly right, it'll create like a multi-depth thing. Let's bring these layers down so I can show you a little bit better. So, 3 by 1, 3 by 1, 1 by 3, 3 by 3. So you can actually excavate an entire like room underneath this stuff. You're not going to be able to put stuff in there, I don't think. But, you know, the excitement is still there for very, very useful things. Like, for example, right here, remember how we said that, oh, we should put in, oh, the chanting in the Agoras is never going to Oh, it went away faster also because, you know, you zoom out and the building sound thing was changed. That's nice to see. But I had said that I didn't want to have a whole trench connecting these two because I figured it would be annoying. But, you know, that's kind of something we can do now. Kind of. Depending on how we're able to get down. Like, this is not, like, a great example to make of this. The first thing that popped to mind. If I were to just, you know, bring it out this way, it only lets me go up to 10, which, okay, bad place to demonstrate the size, but that's what 10 looks like. So you can do 10 by 10, which is, of course, 100 squares. But there's so many cool things. So many cool things I think we're going to be able to do with this in the future. Obviously, you know, don't drill through the side of a reservoir unless you want to have a flood. But, man, the possibilities are endless. And right here, since I do remember talking to somebody about this, and I think it was the comments, or maybe it was the Discord, I'm not sure. But badwater evacuation is going to be made so much easier with the help of the tunnels. Because, like, take a look at this. You see, like, right back here? You know what's on the other side of this? Let's peel this back. We have water source blocks. So, I'm not sure exactly how they're going to be able to take care of this. But I had the idea that what if I just tunneled this out? Because remember, our source is actually back here. If I tunneled this out, and then I could put in sluices here to redirect all of the bad water into this channel, which powers all of our mine stuff and definitely has the extra capacity to handle all of this. Let's actually just check that before I wreck myself here. 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay, so that's another 4 out of dev mode. So in addition to, you know, back in dev mode, because that's always how this goes, 3. So instead of 3, we could have a total of 7 power coming through here, which, based on how this setup is, yeah, it's fine. This would have to be adjusted very slightly, but coming off the edge here, if we just blasted one little piece out, that could handle a lot more flow, and I think that would be a fun thing to do. However, I'm not going to send biobeavers in to do that because that would be a tremendous, dangerous situation that these guys would have to deal with. But I think that would be a really fun opportunity to mess with this. And of course, you know, this is buried down a level, so maybe there's some sort of weirdness that happens as a result of that. But if we did that, and then on this front side here we put in sluices to only let good water out, then this entire area would never, okay, well from this source, would never be contaminated again. And then, okay, this one is not quite as easy to get away with that, but we could, this is the lowest possible already, yeah. We could make a little bad water canal just coming straight through here so it didn't infect so many of our trees. Okay, that's actually a seedling. Good. That means I can just pop that there, and that's a simple thing to get fixed. But, you know, if you employ a little bit of creative thinking and just kind of mess around to see what you can get away with, I'm willing to bet that a lot of you guys can come up with some pretty cool ideas that we'll be able to take full advantage of. But, you know, talking about that, I just need to check that there are no builders that are biobeavers. Because if there are, they're going to have a bad day. But district center is still set to beavers. Okay. Well, now, all of the builders are bots. The haulers are... Ooh, yeah, I got 50 haulers biobeavers, and I only have 26 unemployed bots. So, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and start the process of changing this over just for this one construction project, because I do not trust that these biobeavers will not just gleefully go to their doom over here, because that's how that works. But yeah, like something like this never would have been possible before, just because you'd have to demolish the whole mountain and then build it back up. And honestly, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to be messing with that. I don't have enough time to be tearing whole mountains down. But I'm pretty sure we should be in okay spot here. Let's try this out. I'm so curious about this. All right, so if I do a 2x4 thing there, that should give me enough space. Obviously, they can't reach this. So to enable them to make that happen, I'm going to put in, off of this thing, a 3x1 bridge. They should be able to do this. If they can't, then, well, we'll figure that out. But before we get that, they can't reach this, first of all. Before we get that done, we do have to make sure we have our correct number of edges here, which is going to require that we put in a little bit of something else here. I'm going to go in, just kind of duplicate this. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 edges. That handles up to 8.8, and this will be 7 maximum. So that's fine there. 43, nice. Going through 2 wide should be totally fine because it's not changing depth. And then I will just kind of super idiot-proof myself here by going in 2 ways this way, which will, because the map edge doesn't count, or you guys keep saying that at least, that will give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 edges here. I just have to be able to get the bots in here to actually build this, which that's going to be an interesting problem to solve, but hey, that is what this episode is about, right? We are trying to learn, and learn we shall. I can't build that up that way. I can if I go over here. So, you know, it's a process. You already know. Just takes time. Just takes time. I just I gotta get these guys up here, so pop in a ladder that way, go there, and that should allow them to get over the top of this thing. Put those in. That's ready to go. Okay. Water folding, my old nemesis. But that should hopefully get things figured out. It is worth noting we do not have on this, we do not have a badwater dome, and we don't have a badwater rig. So this is what it is. If we have a flood because I make a mistake, then it's going to be a real problem. So I'm going to try my best not to allow that to happen. But you know how this goes, folks. You know how it goes. At any moment, weird, bad things can happen, and that is, yeah, that's just the way she goes. So bring this up this way, get that connected. I am very hopeful that they're going to be able to do this, and I really hope this works. We're going to find out just as soon as I find out. I have not done anything, any research or whatever about this. I'm just diving in because that's the way we like to do things here. Alright, so that's finished. If you're curious, each tunnel requires 1 explosive, 1 extract, and 6 planks to build. 6 planks, of course, being for the platform, which, yes, the recipe has changed. I didn't talk about it, but platforms now take 6 planks, doubles take 8, and triples take 10. There are no logs used to make the platforms at all anymore. Oh, they do that immediately? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. I wasn't planning on that. Okay. I assumed we would just set them off all at once. Oh, yikes. Oh, yeah, guess what? I'm the fool. I'm absolutely the fool here. You know what? I said this. I can't build sluices in here. Because now there's platforms in the way. Oh, this is bad. This is bad. That's bad news, dude. Okay. So I'm going to have to do some advanced voodoo here. Because I've, uh-oh. Well, let's let's examine this. Okay, so this hasn't caused any issues, which is nice. Look at all this power. Okay, that's actually cool. But, uh-oh. So yeah, cool. This is open now. Great. I love it. But now we've got a very important problem to solve, and that is, what the heck am I supposed to do about sluices here? I think what we're... Oh no. Oh no, no, no. Okay. Let's put some dynamite in. I guess I'm just gonna have to... I can't believe I fell for it. My own mind deceived me. We're gonna put overhangs in. I'll use our 4x1s. Obviously, I have to wait for the dynamite to go in, but I'll have to build the sluices on the overhangs so that it dumps the water out that way, and then I think that should solve our problems. I really hope it does. We'll see. Because if not, then we just royally, you know what. Oh, I love learning in real time, said a lot of people. Actually, it's fun, but also dangerous. So, yeah, it's a little ugly, but it's our ugly, so it is what it is. This needs to be set to close below contamination. All of these will just go at the same time. Absolutely turn that thing off. So this, at the very least, will not let clean water through. I'm so curious to see this in action, because obviously, you know, this has space above, but that's all that's behind it. I am so curious about this. Okay, so that's in. Okay, we might be in for a little bit of a bumpy weather here with these things once the rest of them get in place, but as long as we're not flooded down here, which we are not, things seem to be, you know, swirling and I almost said churling. That's not a word. Thank you, English. Swirling and churning violently, powering our water wheels beyond all believable bounds, he says, as it cycles down to 350 HP and back up to over 500. Is that because I'm building... Okay. Okay, well, now those are in place. This should kind of level off, but it didn't flood. Didn't flood. That's, you know, something to celebrate. So, that has, funnily enough, stopped all of the everything from coming out over here. So that's cool. Now I've got a problem, because I have to be able to get over here. And, you know, there's trees in the way. And I'm not going to be able to do this. I'm going to have to send the... I'm not... Before you say it, I'm not going to blast through here all the way, because you know that's going to cause problems when fluids are involved. But I do need to get over to the other side here, and that is close. And remember, you can't build on top of a water source, and I don't think you can walk over them either. So I can't just tunnel through this on top of this sluice gate, because, well, what am I going to do? I have to have a block of vertical clearance between these. So I think what's going to happen here is, I know it's unthinkable in this tree economy we're in to just remove trees. But what we can choose to do is we can choose to not replant these trees. 55%, 41%, 8%. Okay, that one we can definitely just go ahead and get rid of. 12%, that one we can definitely go ahead and... Come on, click, please. Thank you. 50%, 32%. Okay, if it's less than 50%, I'm just gonna yeet it. 91%, 9%. Goodbye. 91%, 72, 56. So we can kind of just, you know, let this be what it's gonna be. And in time, remember, 30-day growth cycle on these bad boys. We have 17.2 days left of the bad tide, so anything at 50% or more will be properly cut down. And then we can come over here. And since we're going to have our sluices in the hole here, which I really hope I don't screw up. Well, actually, no. You know what? We actually don't need sluices here. We actually don't need it, because when these close... Let me just demonstrate this to you. When these close, it'll just force everything out this side. And they're only going to open... did I... How in the heck did that happen? Oh, okay. All right. No. Okay, this is closed. Please tell me. Okay, we're learning now. Please tell me it is not sending all of the bad water through the backside of the sluices because I demolished stuff. I want to say that's just like a surge thing. Okay. Now mistakes have been made and abided. We cannot do that. Auto open. Please disinfect my trees immediately, or bad things are going to happen. Oh, please. Please. Come on. No. Save the trees. Come on. Please. Oh, you ding-dongs. Well, it looks like we lost 4 trees. Rest in peace. But what I was attempting to demonstrate was that, one, the blockages are here, and I don't think we're going to be able to build... Oh, no, we totally can. Never mind. But I think being the operative term, something I don't do sometimes, that when that shuts on this backside, we will be able to actually have the correct type of water coming through here. Now, if there was a thing that I somehow accidentally opened a portal to the void by putting these here, then, you know, that is just something I'm going to have to reckon with myself. But I am hopeful that because these sluices are specifically above... Now, don't be fooled by the blue square. These sluices are specifically above this set of tiles here, which is directly above the bad water source. They shouldn't let anything back through them. We're going to find out, though. So I guess all of this to say, I may have accidentally failed the task successfully. I don't know. But anyway, if no bad water ever comes out into this little lagoon again, then we're going to be in good shape, folks. In fact, you know what? This right here might actually be... these were natural overhangs before. This might actually be a casualty of that that change that was made. So we will need to examine what happens. But I am pretty confident in saying that this will actually end up being totally fine. And, oh, well... This probably is still going to have contamination barriers, just because of, you know, how contaminated this is. But if we wanted to just make a little channel here, we eventually could. I'm so curious. Hey, are these empty? Nice. Okay, that's done. Cut these maples down. We got our maple syrup numbers still very, very, very low. I don't think these have all... Okay, some of these have already been harvested. Some of these have not yet been. And they're getting pine resin, they're getting maples. I probably should have put another tapper shack, to be perfectly honest with you. And it's not too late to do that, actually. If I just cut down, say, 4 of these, because, you know, we need wood right now, something fierce. All right, get this lumberjack flag in there, and then they can cut those down, and I'll put another tapper shack in. That should be fine. Anyway, I've said my piece about this. I think it's going to be okay. But there is still a lot of work, friends, that we have to do, and you know, it's not gonna be done unless we do it. So the work continues. We are going to be planting more. What do you call these things? Oak trees. Yes. We're going to be planting those here. I guess I don't need to keep these around. They've all been harvested, right? Okay, there's one that hasn't. Continue marking all this for cutting. If they cut it, they cut it. If they don't cut it, then they don't cut it. but we can help them out a little bit. Actually, I don't need to have the lumberjack flags to the outside here. I can just put them there. The reason I put them on the outside was so that we could have the zipline stations close at hand. So that is that's the reason why we did all that. I need to get these ladders out of here because I don't want them down in the hole. Get out of there. Get out of there. Demolish that slope so we don't have to worry about anybody being stuck in the hole. Alright. Get these pathways out of here. Get this pathway out of here. And then, all we gotta do is pop this guy in there. And that's gonna take care of most of this. Not all of it, but most. And our irrigation is... it's kind of okay, I guess. I probably could stand to have one over here, but when we have clean water, that's not going to be a problem. Let's get the rest of this taken care of. We don't need to worry about pathing because we have the zip lines, and they have some actually pretty good access to most of this. This also needs help with the terrain going in, so I can move this there. That should allow them to take care of that. Okay, well these little tiny trees, I'm just going to get rid of those before they grow. Because we want to be having all oaks over here. There are some of you who are very big fans of tree diversity, and I'm here to tell you it doesn't matter, because density is the thing we're looking for. 8 logs in 30 days. That's just the way it goes. Okay, so this guy has nothing to do. So thank you. Actually, I will keep that paused in case we need to cut down other trees in the future. But before our guy over here comes and replants these maples, let's unmark that. And then we'll put in our second tapper shack, get it swapped just so it looks a little bit nicer. And that is going to help tremendously. This one's going to be set to maple syrup priority. Not that that really needed to be a thing, but that should help tremendously because I know we've got maple syrup that is not being harvested. We've got chestnuts that aren't being harvested. And I probably need to have more than 2 of these, but you take a look at our stuff here. Storage is full. It's fine. It is what it is. I would love to see this maple syrup storage be completely full, and I know it's a little bit of a hike to get over here, but it's the way it goes. It's the way it goes. Okay, this is improving rapidly. Very, very good. And this isn't irrigated quite as nicely as I would like it to be, but also note that the drag thing has been illuminated there. That's a nice change. But I think we're going to be fine here. Let's get rid of these. I did see someone leave a comment saying, hey, it's okay to use temporary foresters to get trees planted more quickly. And I think we probably aren't going to need to worry about it, but we might do one or more anyway. Is there anything else that needs to get harvested? No? Okay. Tapper Shack, goodbye. We need to have a pathway over here so they can actually get rid of that little maple seedling. Very, very soon, folks. Very soon we're going to have this situated quite nicely here. Alright, if I flip, that is actually pretty inconsequential. I'll go that way, just because I can. So in an actual growing environment where we're not trying to jumpstart this whole thing, I do think having, what's this going to be, 4 foresters on this island is going to be enough, at least for the the areas that are irrigated all the time. I think that's going to be fine. Is this guy not capable of reaching over there? No, he totally is. It's marked for cutting. These chestnut trees absolutely can go away. Go ahead and get rid of those. And I am so curious. I am just sickeningly curious about how these tunnels are going to work. Oh boy, like it's such a cool idea. It's so cool. But I'm I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to do it justice. That's like a constant fear I kind of have with this game, that I'm gonna accidentally just make it look bad. Like, I don't want that. I like the game. I like Mechanistry. I don't want them to be like, oh, well, this guy doesn't know anything about what he's talking about. Imposter syndrome. It's a very powerful, very dangerous thing. But I digress frequently. Let's just go ahead and get these the rest of the way in. Again, I'm leaving space for some more lumberjacks in the event that that space is needed. I don't really anticipate that being a tremendous problem, but again, you know how it goes. You know how it goes. Just get this entire thing populated here. I suppose if we really, really wanted to play the game, and by play the game I mean engage in stuff that isn't necessarily the most fun, but is probably necessary, metagaming, whatever you want to call it, we can put another forestry, because there's a lot of trees that have to be planted here, and then we just have to remove everything else here. I don't think there's a universe in which we're going to have to get back up here, so for the sake of our... Oh, that's right, the ladder still requires logs. I was about to say, how am I getting logs back from something that doesn't require logs to build? Go ahead and just get rid of this, get rid of this. The bots aren't going to need that there. Instead, what's going to make sense, remember this is only 1,000 now, is over here we can actually take some time to put in a couple of tanks. We have the ability, and that's just going to be the smart thing, unless we don't have clearance. Oh no, we will. That'll be fine. Because remember, these are all zipline connected, so if I have a zipline station right next to medium tanks, then that means this guy just goes zoop, just like that, zoop, zoop, just like that, so on and so forth. And what is this? Okay, that's a gather flag. That can definitely go away and be replaced with additional oak trees. Yes, it will take some time for those trees to get actually planted and taken care of everywhere, but long term, we're going to be very glad that we did this. Now, these are still bio-beavers, but remember, the age of bots is coming. So, it is in our best interest to prepare. I'm not going to waste my time getting that emptied. Just put that there. Get some biofuel, get some catalyst. Should be very easy for them to take care of there. And like I was trying to say earlier, just mark this whole thing for planting, and then they will do what they can. If they can't, then they won't. You know the drill. Oh, look at all those logs. Look at all those logs. Let's get these down to the ground here. Down to the ground. There. No, down to the ground. The ground. Thank you. And that's too far, too far, too far. Come on, man. Is this going to be like I chase these things around for like 4 hours again? Is this in range yet? Okay, it is. Okay, that doesn't need to be paused. I really don't want to waste these logs because we have so few of them. So they'll get that taken care of. Is this all marked for cutting? It is not marked for cutting. I am so glad I checked, because I would have just, dismissed that as, oh, we don't need to worry about it. It's totally fine. And of course, the badwater from this is coming in from... Oh, we haven't even remotely gotten into this yet. Oh, there's so much going on. Do I want to... can I even... No. That's a shame. I was hoping I wouldn't have to have these contamination barriers absolutely everywhere here. That's kind of a drag. Are they going to be able to reach this? Is this... Yes, okay. So I am going to, I think... Again, I have no idea. No way of knowing if they can actually... Wait a second. I can't drag this anymore. Because you know what it does? You know what it does? It overhangs it. Oh, that's what it's supposed to do. Yeah, I know. That's the problem. Now I have to remember that it does that. But I think this is close enough from all of these that it's going to let me build that. The idea here is to reduce the amount of space that this badwater can take up and increase the amount of trees we can plant. Why is this still paused? But, you know, seeing the reality of where we are currently, I think I am going to have to just do some of this stuff here. This is not going to be reachable for unplanting, I don't think. So we will see what happens, I suppose. Okay, now let's think about this. This tile here is not poisoned because the water is held back because there's a like a stair step thing here. You know, if that works, then I don't need to worry about putting in these things. Okay, this is kind of a tragedy here because we lost the natural overhangs. This is that just doesn't look quite as good, does it? But at any rate, what I was going to say is that I think if I can just get this, can I build underneath? I can't. Oh wow. Okay, this is actually cool. Oh, this is like an actual like huge improvement, assuming they can actually build all this. Because I'm not going to have to build contamination barriers if it just holds the nasty a little bit back. Exciting times await us, friends. Very exciting times. But back to over here, because I know there's so many more things we could be doing with these tunnels, and I really, really want to play with those. I don't know locations that make a tremendous amount of sense. Aside from this, if this actually works, I'm going to be pretty proud of this. So you'll have to forgive my my vanity, as it were. But oh, here's an opportunity to get into the backside of that. I guess we could maybe do that. If we peel this back, because if we had the ability to get into... Oh, you know what? This goes up one more, right? No, it does not. Okay. I was going to say I just put a tunnel here, but that also has minimal actual benefit to anything. Is there anywhere I can get into the side of something that actually is going to matter? It's going to make sense. Why do I have dead, wow, dead wheat over here? That doesn't make any sense. And this also doesn't need to be here. We're playing all sorts of cleanup today. Yeah, that's a relic of a previous time we can easily get rid of. I like the zipline sound. I think I've said that a bunch of times already. Let's see. Somebody said something about the... Okay, the gravity batteries are not reachable because somebody didn't put in the correct platform. Alright, so that will help at least. Because I know we wanted to add some capacity there. We need to add more of these windmills, and I don't really have a lot of great spots to do that. And I was going to move this, and I didn't move it because I ended up thinking that maybe I don't want to move it. Oh, so much to think about. So many things to think about. And I bet you one or more of you have left this comment already. And I think it would be fun to have the tunnel go into this thing and have like a little basin. Now, what we would do with this, with it being flooded, yeah, I can't really tell you. But the height on this, let's see, that's 3, that's another 3, so that's 6, that's 1, that'd be 2, so 4 down from this, which would be, just for the sake of illustration, this high. The top of this platform is the bottom of the basin right now. Now, it can be expanded. We can make it deeper, and then we could have this just go just right like that. or we don't have to do that. But the other thing, you know, since this is already connected anyway, so it's kind of pointless, but we could, if we felt so inclined, come in here with our tunnels and just undermine this entire thing, and water can pass through it without destabilizing terrain. Speaking of destabilizing terrain, you might have seen this in the patch notes when I put it in. I don't actually remember. But there is a limit now to how far out the terrain blocks can go if you're building out. So just to demonstrate this, it'll let you go maximum of 3 over nothing. So that 4x2 there is actually just more 3s. So you could actually do some pretty stupid stuff with this. And just for the sake of argument, if I were to go ahead and put a water pump, I know this isn't going to reach anything. That's not what this is about. If I decide I don't want this to be here anymore. Oh, it's not going to let me get rid of it, huh? What if I did demolish? Aha, there it is. So you highlight this. It's going to tell you everything else that's going to get destroyed if you get rid of this thing here. Because it can't support anything else. So when I click this, then that building goes away. And then, wait, why did that... Wait a sec. Okay, no, it was still supported by that. I was about to say, did I just cause a singularity? It all disappears. So, I thought that was kind of cool, but also a little bit of a warning to you if you're going to try this on your own, that, you know, sometimes it could have unintended consequences if you're not quite paying attention. Okay, we got 8.7 days left in this bad tide, and I am absolutely desperate to see if this works. So, I think we're at a situation now where this is worth going ahead and time-lapsing. We have a couple more trees to plant, and we have a couple of other things that we might want to take care of. We'll see what happens. But I am going to go ahead and let them kind of recover some of these materials, maybe try to get some more of the maple syrup pulled out of the trees, and we'll catch back up at the end of this bad tide and see what happens with our little contraption we built. Alright, cycle 36 begins, and you might notice that I did put in a third tapper shack here, because I noticed that we weren't getting all of our maple syrup, and we still aren't. So, could be time for a fourth one, possibly. But we have significantly increased the throughput of all that stuff, and now we've got a lot of trees. But I hear you saying, what happened here? Well, friends, it seems everything... Oh, there we go. It seems everything has worked splendiferously well, and now we have all of this mess coming out this way. And with it, we have the incredible power of... Wait, why is nothing flowing through this? I figured it would be flowing out this way. Well, that's not a very incredible power at all, is it? Well, we have... Maybe not an incredible power, but we do have the ability to, I think, go ahead and just close this off completely if no bad water is ever going to come out of here. And that, I am absolutely sure, is going to be something that all of us could be happy about. Just close this off, and then all of the water will go this way, and we should be in very, very good shape. You know, unless they do another update and then they break something and then I have to fix it again. But I am absolutely ecstatic, folks. I have been waiting for something cool like this to change up Update 7 since we probably got about halfway through this series. Like, well, you know, this is really cool, but like, what else? Like, I know they have something else coming for this. They always do. And then this drops, and suddenly, okay, wow, I didn't think that was even possible, but they figured out a way to do it. So, what that's going to allow us to do is to, of course, seal this off and then also remove contamination barriers, but I'm not going to get rid of them just yet, because you know how often stuff goes poorly to the point where it ends up causing a whole lot of problems for us. But I think I can pretty safely... Wait, hold on. Did I do a stupid... I did. Wow, okay, well... All right, that answers that question. Sheesh. Well, at any rate, they're going to keep working on this, but I had an idea. And I wanted to ask your opinion on it. So, you remember what we did a long time ago when we put, a long time ago, like 4 or 5 episodes, we put this thing in, we had to blast everything, cut and cover technique. I might have referred to it as. But, you know, we have the option now to utilize tunnels. We can't get a beaver in here, of course. We'd have to make an access hole. But what if, you know, because how deep this is, we have this bit here as well. What if we decided, you know, we want to irrigate this whole thing if we just had tunnels underneath all of it, and then it irrigates from underneath. Now, do we need to do that here? No. Completely unnecessary. But it probably would be pretty cool. So, before we are done for today, because we are just about out of time, I do want to test something here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start creating kind of a possibly pointless tunnel, but you'll see what I'm getting at here. I'm going to go, let's say go 4 in, and then once they actually get this bit blasted out, then I guess we can talk about what's next. But I am very interested to see what can be placed inside of tunnels. And obviously, since you have the platforms in here, you're not going to be able to do anything super tall. But we have all these like well-being and decoration items that, if they fit, would be pretty interesting to see. The Iron Teeth have under well-being the Scratcher is what I'm specifically thinking of. I don't think the Contemplation spot's not going to work. But like I said, Iron Teeth Scratcher is possibly the perfect application for this if you're wanting to hide stuff underground. But if there's anything else that can go in here, like say, oh yeah, okay. I don't know why you'd want to put a hedge in a hole, but you can do it. These things are all too tall. Fences as well seems like would work. Roofing pieces, obviously not. Benches? Yeah, okay. You ever wanted to, you know, have a bench in a cave? Well, you can do that. It's an option that exists to you. But specifically with regard to something like this, and I know this isn't something that's going to let us do, but if inside of a tunnel you have the option to increase the height, and I know it stacks. I know, like, if I were to go ahead and put like this here, it would just have 2 single platforms. But if there were a revision to this, where, like, say I did, oh, it's not going to let me drag me down, but like, say if you had 2, one on top of the other, it would give you instead a double platform instead of just 2 stacked single platforms. Then that would allow you to do some more of this stuff, maybe some of the decorative things, or to have just, you know, various things inside that maybe have a little bit more flexibility. And then I'm trying to think, what's the best way to word this? Because I really would like to be able to, without demolishing the entire mountain and rebuilding, say put in something like a 3x3 or a 5x5 inside a tunnel that you construct from nothing. Like you hollow out a big area, and then there's some sort of whatever, like a variant of this that you can pop in there, and then it removes all of the other supports below it, and then you can put buildings in. Like, you know how they dig mines, right? Normally they just dig out the hole and they reinforce it as they go along, like, you know, how this is set up. But you get to these big chambers and you make the hole bigger and you reinforce it and you put in these things and you have this big open space. Like, for example, just because this is what we're used to looking at, a 5x5 that would then have space underneath it to put in different buildings. Like, you know, you got your housing, there's no way this would work, right? Okay, no. That would have been pretty cool. But just a bunch of different ideas. I think that would be really, really, really interesting. I don't know how they'd be able to do it, but yeah, that just that allows us to go into the side there, and this working is pretty stinking cool. I'm not going to lie to you that I'm really happy about this. That solved this problem expeditiously and made it so that we can have a much much better time planting trees. And now look at all of these trees. We got 2,100 logs. We started the episode with like what, 0? All right, that's cool, but I do wish we had been able to do a little bit more with the tunnels, but I'm kind of not sure how to use those to their fullest extent. So if you have ideas, and I know you do, let me know what you want to see with the tunnels, because I think we can do some really, really, really cool stuff with the help of your ideas. So, that being said, it is time to end this episode. I know it's a little bit longer than I wanted. I can't remember how long the time lapse in theory should be. But I'm looking at over an hour, like an hour 15, almost an hour 16, and I don't need to waste any more, quote unquote. Time spent enjoyed is never wasted. But, regardless, we all have stuff to do. I know you guys have stuff to do, and I've got stuff to do as well. So we're going to go ahead and cut this off here. I really appreciate the support. Beard Boosters, you already know. You make it possible to do this nonsense. And especially in the Discord today, user named Gav told me about how the different mods were reacting to the new update and like what worked, what didn't work, and managed to make it so I could make this video. I was a little bit upset that I couldn't record tonight because I had this whole playthrough was hinging on the ladders working, and I loaded it up and nothing was accessible because everything was a ladder. So, but we managed to get it working, so we all owe a debt of gratitude to Gav for helping me out with that and letting me know that it is in fact possible to use ladders, because Taubert updated that at 6:50 something a.m. According to the Steam workshop. I was able to get that fixed. But like I said, that's all the time we got for this one. I am so excited to get back into this next episode and see what you guys have in terms of ideas for the tunnels and other stuff as well. And I think we can probably get into the second set of the bot part factories with a little bit more improvement and bolstering up supply chains in a couple spots. But again, that's it. Have a fantastic rest of your day. I hope Ember Pelts is going to be a go for tomorrow. I'm pretty sure it should be fine. I know Bobbing About has been very diligent about uploading new versions of the mods whenever possible, so we'll see what happens with that. But until then, stay safe, have fun, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.